I'll just take my sunglasses off first, shall I, before I start? Okay, hi, my name's Craig Waters. I'm just going to do a tech talk at vBrownbag today about building your own user group. I've got 17 tips. I'm a VMworld leader for about 5 years now in Melbourne, Australia, and I just want to share some of my experiences. So let's just jump straight into it, shall we? Yeah. So here's my agenda. I've got 7 kind of areas that I want to cover: management, community, sponsors, content, venue, prizes, and marketing. So let's just get in there. So, and just in around management at the moment. So the first tip I want to talk about really is forming a steering committee. And the idea really is just to remove yourself as a single point of failure as a user group leader. And then also what you can do with this steering committee is like rotate them and get them to be involved in all the areas that that are required to manage and the logistics and the responsibilities around the user group. The idea really is that you can cross-skill with these guys as well, and really it means then that everybody gets to have a go at each different role. So it's a bit of a variety, which keeps it interesting. Next tip there as well is having co-leaders. So vendors and integrators are really good people to get involved in your VMworld as a co-leader, because they're part of their remit's obviously to engage locally with the community. So they can basically provide a bit of interest and a bit of passion into the whole process. So my important really tip of this is just don't try this on your own, because it's not fun over time. Get these people involved and build a community around yourself so that you can be successful. So next on to the community itself. So what's a user group without an audience? So there's an old adage, build it and they will come, and I think it's very true in this case. Just do it. That's what I'm kind of saying at the end of the day. Get yourself together. Get a. We'll talk about venue and stuff like that in a minute. But get the pieces in the jigsaw together and then just go for it. I recently was helping out the Auckland VMworld in New Zealand, and they have very similar principles around building the chapter together and then just getting out there and doing it. And they've had great success around that. So the adage is true. Also involve your community, so get them to participate in the agenda. Don't just have vendor presentations, but also have community people there. There's lots of guys out there that have done work. Get them involved, and then really potentially you can create your own VRockstars as well and have your own community built around it. These things take time, but it does happen. It can work very well, Tip number 5 then is involve your local vendor integrator representatives. So I think it's really important to have this ecosystem and really drive that attendance through not just customer. Not just customers, but also vendors and integrators as well. Like I say, it's an ecosystem, but you shouldn't exclude anybody. This is really important, I think. So on to the next section, which is around sponsors. So tip number 6, this is how you pay for stuff, So you need sponsors to pay for venue, audio-visual, and possibly even VBeers afterwards, VBeers is pretty good. It can be a real incentive for people to come along. There's nothing like free beer. Everybody likes free beer. But it also means that as well as, you can use it as part of your content generation as well. So, sponsors can provide presentations around new technologies, those sort of things. So... And tip number 7 is really about sponsor prizes as well. So, get your sponsors to help with the prizes too. They've got budget for those sort of things. So I think it's important to leverage that as well, And that, again, can be an incentive for your attendees, So next session's around content, And number 8 is about sponsorship presentation mantra. So, I'll quote it directly. Think of your audience as already having purchased your product, and that what you're already here to do is to show them how to get the best out of using it, And I think that's really important. A lot of sponsors will come along and they'll have a 40-deck slide talking about the value of their solution. And, at the end of the day, really, in a user group, what you want to see is some action. You want to see live demonstrations. You want to see, content that really stands out compared to typical sales information. So I think it's really important to try and include that kind of information. So number 9, community-led presentations. Again, we talked about this before. Empower your audience to contribute. I think it's really important. This could be just as simple as this is how we've implemented virtualization in our environment. Keep it really simple, but really what you're doing is showing people what you've done. You're communicating on a level technically with these people, and it really just builds rapport, and it can lead on to great things, yeah, for the community and for these individuals as well, yeah. Number 10, yeah, show the benefits of presenting. So, if you've got prizes that you can give away at your user group, then give them to these people who are come up and presenting off their own back, yeah. It really then just leads on to the whole idea of developing soft skills. And if you've got those prizes, I think it's really important to pass those on to the people that do contribute, yeah. So the next section is around venue, yeah. So number 11, it doesn't have to be a business suite. So everyone really gets hung up about, having a hotel with a, high quality audio visual. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all, yeah. It just needs to be enough to be able to present information to an audience, yeah. Let's number 12, then venue sponsorship. So, why don't you have a look at finding a local sponsor to pay for the venue potentially, yeah? In the use case of the user group I'm with, we've got a local telecommunications company who's offered to sponsor the event. So again, all they're really wanting is some exposure to being there. So, you can put their logo on your slide deck, whatever. I think it's really important, and build a package around the whole thing for your sponsors as well. So, put together your fee for your audio visual, your fee for the building, whatever it is, and just build that into a single package so that your sponsor only has to provide one fee for the whole event. Makes it really easy to work with them. It really simplifies the whole process, which I think is really important. And over time, what you can then do is build out your event. So increase the number of content streams you've got. Maybe you'll have 2 rooms, so you can have 2 streams running simultaneously. And again, that means more content's being generated, which ultimately means more people can attend. Yeah, you're providing content for a great group of people, which I think is very important. Yeah. So on to prizes now. So tip 13 is around education. So, approach some of the education companies to provide prizes. There's things like, education companies for the vendors that you're involved with. There's also some great companies like Pluralsight. They're always very keen to have representation at user groups. So go and contact them. If there's any press companies that are providing technical publications, again, go and speak to them. I think it's really, the purpose of the user group is about education ultimately. So having resources that are educational to give away as free prizes can be, a great incentive, yeah. But make it a win for everybody at the end of the day, I think it's really important. Number 14 again is sponsor-led generation. So, get your sponsors to provide a small prize, sub $100, and then what they can do is they can collect business cards, in a pot and do a raffle at the end of the presentation, and that helps them with lead generation. So again, it's a win-win for everybody. You get a good prize, they get lead generation. Everybody's happy at the end of the day, and I think it's really important to encourage those sort of things. So onto marketing is the next section now. So tip 15, mailing list. Yeah, use your attendee list carefully. Yeah? Don't over communicate via email. We all know what it's like to have spam. So it's really important, I think, to try and keep that to a minimum. And if you're going to target people via email, then just make sure that it's concise and it's to the point. Yeah. Number 16 is around social media. So social media is a great tool to build a local audience, yeah? It's really about engagement at the end of the day. So use these tools, things like Twitter, LinkedIn, those kind of things. Really use them to build some excitement into the user group and really engage with your audience. It's a great way to communicate, and it's a great way to build a rapport with people before they've even come to the event. Yeah, it's like being here at VMworld. I mean, that's kind of a good example is that you talk to people all year round on social media, but you don't actually meet them in person until you go to these kind of events. So again, I think it's pretty important to have those sort of things. So, and last tip for marketing, number 17, is about celebrities. Leverage your local rock stars. If you've got people there who are VCDXs, if they're VExperts, any kind of certification. Get the message out and get them to come and attend as well. And it becomes a great networking event as well. And, you can obviously, get that involved with VBeers as well. And really, ultimately, you're really driving that interest to the user group to get people to come along and attend. And, there's a reward for that. And that could be, around sharing of knowledge. It can be around, building your own VRock stars and providing those people with the skills, the soft skills that they need to go and present to a public audience, yeah. So that's the end of my presentation. Thanks very much, yeah. Thank you.